Yo, before we get started, we got to give a quick shout out to our Patreon family. I'm talking about Tony, Starla, Sam, Luke, and Jacob. Thank you guys so much for your support. And if you want to become a Patreon subscriber and become a part of the Patreon family, you can head to the link. It's in the episode notes of this episode. The description will be there. It's patreon.com/AITDpod. And guys, before we get going here, let me just also let you know we're talking about the fight that was heard around the world, but wasn't even that great. Also some father time, and also got to mention a past UPSer as well. That's now going on 5 years. Mr. Frank Ordonez. Gotta give it up for him. So, guys, before we get started here, let's have some fun, huh? Get ready for this one, boys and girls. It's gonna be a good one. Here we go. We got to this one address. I said, this one goes around back. He went around back, boom, drove off, left them right at the stop.
That was after getting hit by a car.
You got hit by a car?
I ended up drinking 24 Bud Lights in about 48 minutes. Drunken nomad stumbles out in the road and he hit me going 30 miles an hour.
What's up, everybody, and thank you for joining us on another episode of All in the Delivery. This is episode 127, and we are happy to be here with you guys again. Another week's gone by, and here we are. So, let's say hello to my co-host, shall we? You guys know I'm down in West by God, Virginia. Luke, the Duke, Nomad. How are you, buddy?
Dude, I am still I'm still fighting a little bit of congestion, so I may still have a raspy laugh, but dude, I don't feel terrible. It is Ashley's birthday as we speak, and I've got to give you a little, because we didn't talk last week, and what we can get I was gonna say we could get into your week here, but Ashley, she wanted, we had this idea for her to tell this story, but we record late and it wasn't going to happen that way, so I figured I'd have to throw this in there. So this being Ashley's, it was her birthday weekend, so Friday I'd gotten her I gave her gift early, and I'd got her this necklace she had wanted, and so the next day, just to summarize it, this being Ashley's birthday weekend, so we have this massage gun, and Ashley uses it, on my back and on my legs and shit, to get knots out. Hurts like a motherfucker, but feels good after, I'm done. So Willow's like infatuated with this thing. So she is like, she has this massage gun. She's like, mommy, dad, dude, do it to dad. So I'm like, yeah, dude. So I'm like, I am kind of tight, blah, blah, blah. So she ends up using this massage gun on me on my legs and back, gives me full on for like 30 fucking minutes, going strong. Willow's just sitting there and having a blast watching it, because she just loves watching that thing fucking bounce. So I already got that going for me. Go into she's in the shower. I think about getting some, like, going to get a little creative in the shower, but people were there, and we were kind of on a time constraint. So she's like, "I'll just get in. I'll give you a blowjob." So I got a blowjob on her birthday weekend, and fast forward time a little bit.
Hold on,
more.
it's her birthday, not yours? I'm just kidding.
Not mine. No, this is what's hilarious. So it ended up happening twice, because I forgot I couldn't breathe through my nose, unfortunately, when we were having sex, and I got a little gassed out at the end, and she gave me 2 blowjobs on her birthday weekend. So that was like a birthday present for my son. I was like, there's a gift for you right there, and I appreciate it too. But I was like, so, just the randomness that never, I could say this, it's, when you're married, especially when you have young kids around, it's like, I'm just going to say for me, the rarity, the fact I got two blow jays in the same day, and it was her birthday weekend, is incredible. So my week's been pretty good. It ended on a good note. I hope how have you been?
Oh, fuck. That is great. That's great.
Yeah, I figured I'd cover up the bad detail. I was like, yeah, wow, I don't know how to present this, but here we go.
No, but like it's so true though. Like people know, like people that have kids, like it's hard to find time. It's either I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, like there's whatever. There's mornings where like both boys are up, Danielle and I are still in bed, and then like we hear them put the TV on out there. We're like, oh, they're gonna be busy for like at least 10 minutes. So it's just like, let's go. You know what I mean?
Fuck yeah.
So like you just gotta find the right time. Like that's
when opportunity strikes, make hay while the sun's still shining, as they say.
Exactly. Oh, dude, good. Yeah, my I go back to work now. My vacation is gonna be over, so as you guys, as this is being released on a Monday, my ass is back to work now and getting ready, gearing up for what's going to be peak of 2024. But no, it was it's been good. I'm not sure if I shared this yet on the podcast or whatnot, but me and a couple friends are kind of on this, like, I don't know if you want to call it a fitness journey or just both of, so there's 3 of us, and there's like a contract thing that like we like all signed where we have goals, and if the goals aren't met, there's going to be a punishment for that person, and people who are a part of this get to choose what the punishment is. And there's select do's or there's select don'ts, if you will. Like for me, it's like nothing permanent, like nothing. I'm talking tattoos, hair dye, like that's off the table. You know what I mean? And so like it's going to be pretty fun, and we're starting it this week. And to help like get it kicked off for like me, I bought like a weight set. I also I'm giving into this because you keep hearing about it on different podcasts, I feel like, and whatnot. But I also bought myself like an ice bath, like a cold plunge tub, and so I've done it 2 mornings in a row now. And this morning it was the coldest it was, and I know this probably doesn't sound like much because I'm sure we have listeners that have done it or still do it. And this morning it was sitting at 50.1 degrees, and so like you've got to gradually work your way up to it. For like the first time I did it, I sat in there for like 30 seconds, and then 30 seconds, boom, done. This morning I was in there for 45 seconds. So just gradually start building up your tolerance for it, if you will. And I don't know how to explain it. Like, I don't know if it's like the shock that like hits your body or not, or if it's something, but like when you get out and you get like dressed again and shit and you get your regular clothes on, like you just feel like you're ready to start your day. And it's wild.
I've never done this, by the way. Good. I've never done, I've done like ice bath kind of old school, but like on knees and ankles and shit when I played. But yeah, I've never actually done like the thing that you've done. It looks refreshing.
Oh, dude,
cold as fuck.
It's tough. Like, I mean, like this morning when I did the one, it was just like really having to learn to control your breathing, because like I step in and then I just like go like down to like my shoulders, and it's the first, I don't know, probably the first 15 seconds, it was just like and then like you start like, you know, like it's like hard because it's fucking cold and shit, and it just shocks your body. So it's like I just took time, just closed my eyes, just really focused on my breathing and just had to get it under control. And then like when you get it under control, you're just like, oh, this is good, like this feels better. So so I'm on this. My goal is to lose 40 pounds. Believe it or not, I mean, like I have no shame in this shit, but you know, I weighed like 220 and I'm 5'11", and 220 under the scale of being 5'11" is considered obese. So you know, I mean, like I don't think I'm fat. I'm fat, but I don't think I'm obese by like any means. But according to their charts, obviously, you know, I am obese, which is obviously certainly unhealthy. And
I want to interject here real quick because I too at 6'1" am obese as well at 250 or ish, whatever I am right now. But when there's a difference between being obese and being morbidly obese, like when you think obese, you just think like Brandon Fraser and The Whale. Like if you've seen that movie, I finally
think
got
of
to
like
see
My
it, by the way.
600-Pound Life.
Yeah,
Or something, whatever that fucking show is called.
1,000-Pound Sisters. Tammy Slayton on the walker. Not anymore, but when she when she was like. Yeah, I think the same thing, and it is I would say there's a lot of obese people out there because these standards are fucking bullshit. But
yeah,
the problem is, you know, if you look, and I don't. Again, this is something like when we were talking about the election stuff, and so this isn't anything we researched, but you know, it's just like a way of. I'm old enough to. And I mean, you're only a few years younger than me, so I mean, you probably remember too. Like the way shit is now is available of snacks. Like there was never, like there was convenience stores and shit, but there used to just be like gas stations here that would have like you would go in and pay for fucking gas. They would have like maybe drinks, but they didn't have like. A fucking whole display of candy and chips and fucking Little Debbie snack cakes and all this shit that's just right there. And
I feel like there's just more selections now.
There's so much more selections and there's so much more shit. And people are like, now it's starting to get offensive to, since we're both considered obese, I guess we can talk about this because we fucking... I've brought this up before as myself. It's not offensive to say being fucking overweight is unhealthy. You have like these fucking like what do you call a fat positivity people, and you live your life however you want to if you're happy, but you can't fucking like most of those people fucking don't make it to 40. And I haven't quite made it to 40 yet, so I don't want to fucking knock. I'm just going to, knock on wood because I didn't think I would either. But yeah, dude, like it's not good for you. And the fucking way that there's so much sugar in everything, and there's so much bullshit, like just extra that just doesn't, I think when you focus in on it and you start, dude, because you're like exercising with it, you'll notice a big, because this is the first time you've really ever worked out, right? Like actually.
So like maybe 6 years ago, like just around the time when Xander was born, I was still, for some reason my body fluctuates around 220. And so around the time when Xander was born, like 6 years ago, I ended up dropping 20 pounds. And I was doing sort of like the same thing where like I would do like 20 minutes of like cardio and then like maybe like 15 minutes of just like, doing some like weight lifts. And then maybe another 20 minutes of like playing the drums, and like that was it. And I would do that like every morning. And I ended up dropping 20 pounds. I ended up getting just below 200. And then, when you have a kid and then eventually they start eating regular solid foods. And then when they don't finish their plate, no food goes to waste here in my household.
Right.
It's like watching money go down the drain. So it's just like someone's got to eat it. And that happened to be me. And then here I was, I gained it back, and then my body's, like I said, just fluctuates around 220. So,
and it's so much easier to gain shit back than it is to lose it. That's always the fucking depressing thing. But no, you'll be all right, man. The only thing, you have to also limit things, because actually we were just talking about this this weekend. We were saying that, like, because I used to run a lot, and I don't really run anymore. Like I do a little bit of a jog on Sundays when I go to spar to just kind of get my body loose. But like I don't run anymore because I get paranoid, because I'm not like I wanted to lose some weight before I would run, because it's like it sucks when you get older, because then you have to start thinking of shit like our job. And I'm like, I'm already on my knees a lot. Do I need to put this extra fucking stress on my knees running on pavement and shit? Right. And, you got to be smart on things, but it's, you stay disciplined on things, man. And the only thing that sucks is this is a hard time, because I wanted to kind of be in a little bit better spot at 40. And since I'm about to be a few weeks away, I'm not going to really try too hard at this moment, but I'd like to start off once I, like, I don't want to say I'm not going to try too hard. I'm going to actually put forward a better effort this week. Subconsciously, I've been thinking about it, like just trying to not eat as much shit, stay away from junk, just try to eat better. I haven't sparred the last couple weeks because the day I sparred was Ashley's birthday today, and last week I wasn't feeling good, so yeah, I got to get moving again. It's like Nate said, man, with hiking and shit. You start moving and you work out, dude. You get more energy and you will feel better.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I mean, like, that also goes along with it, too, is, cutting out sugary drinks, cutting out soda, cutting out energy drinks, and then also portioning. Like, I shouldn't say I'm really changing what I'm eating. A little bit, I would say. Probably like my lunches that like I'm going to take with me to work and shit are going to be like probably more around like a chicken salad kind of thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. But like portioning and cutting out sugar drinks, I think just in men alone, it's just like that does a number. Like that's just like that does a number itself. But then you add exercising on top of that into, So yeah, dude, I'm looking forward to it, and try to gain a little muscle and lose some pounds. That's it.
I was trying to think White Goodman from Dodgeball, and I forget Ben Stiller's character's name in Heavyweights. Essentially the same character, just different name. What the fuck was his name in Heavyweights? I can't remember, but. It just you had me thinking that, shedding a little. I was thinking White Goodman in my head, but anyway.
But anyways, so yeah, so that's been good. That's what's going on right now in my life over here. What we got going on in our lives, just to give you guys a heads up, we are planning to do the third Christmas Live. We've done it the past 2 times that we've been around. and so we're planning it for Saturday, December 21st at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to try and get on some past guests we've had on to say hello. And, come hang out, watch the live with us, drink your eggnog or whatever you're drinking, and we're going to try to set that up again because that was always a blast. Always a blast. The first, the second one, I mean, the first one was a marathon at, how long did we go? 4 or 5 hours?
Fucking just under 5 hours, like 4. It was like 4 hours and 40 minutes. I think.
Insane.
I think we were going to try to do an hour or two at the tops, like hour.
5 hours is nuts.
I think we said hour-ish if we'd run over, but it depended,
I remember, I can't remember who it was, but I remember somebody commented and was like, all right, I'm going out to dinner. I'll catch you guys later. And they said it in the chat, and I was like, all right, cool, thanks. Thanks for hanging around. And then they came back and they were like, you guys are still here?
Fuck, man.
After they came over,
that was a fucking. That was fucking. I know I've told the story with Robert Cochran popping on at the very end, and it was like, phew, man, that was, talk about a marathon, not a sprint.
Absolutely. So, yeah, guys, Saturday, December 21st, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, all on our social channels, YouTube, Facebook. I'll see what I can hook up and see how many places we can go live there. But hey, speaking of getting in shape,
oh boy,
how about Iron Mike? I mean, but before we get into that fight,
okay, I
want to talk about the fights, the other fights that were on the card. Okay,
dude, okay,
and actually, hold on. Before that, let's take it a step back further. Netflix. I heard Netflix failed on some people. There was a lot of people where the shit was. I heard it was pixelated.
The bed.
I heard it was pixelated. I heard sometimes it was even just buffering. Like, I think they crashed.
Dude,
I think Netflix crashed.
So I went. I don't know. I think I told you. I went over to my friend JL. Shout out to JL. His place has been the fucking mecca of the boxing spots, and not so much UFC, but boxing stuff. To put this fight in there, this was one that was highly anticipated, like you said. But dude, as far as the Netflix shittery, dude, I had it on because it started at 8:00. You know, the undercard, and I had it on at my house while I was waiting because the night before that morning she woke up at like 3 a.m. So I told them that I wasn't going to probably come over until they were asleep. I wanted to make sure she was asleep because I'd have felt bad because Ashley, I had to work, so Ashley was basically up with her the whole time, you know. So I was watching the prelims, some of them at my house, and it was fucking freezing, shitting the bed. I go over there, same thing. Freezing, shitting the bed, pixelated, like you said. So everybody gets on Twitter, and Twitter says the same thing. Fucking, it's
everybody's having the issue.
Yeah, and dude, it was like, how do you not anticipate like this? You know,
millions of people.
You're fucking doing this to draw subscribers anyway. How do you not fucking anticipate this shit happening? But yeah, it was fucking very, very. That part was bad. But I'll tell you, the fights, I didn't see a lot of all the undercards, but the last two, that female fight, dude, with that Taylor and that Serrano, fuck.
Yeah, let's start with, was it Barrios and Ramos?
Yes.
Barrios and Ramos fight? That was a good fight.
That was a good fight.
That was a solid fight. Like it was back and forth, punches thrown. It was pretty even, I thought, like all around. I mean, that's what it ended in, right?
Yeah.
And then
I believe that one. I was watching it, but I didn't see the outcome because it was just it was busy where I was at. So I didn't pay, dude. But that it was Taylor. Was it Serrano? Was that other woman's
Taylor
name?
and Serrano.
Dude.
I know there's people have some shit to say about that one.
Dude, that was iffy, but what a fucking fight. Holy shit, that was a fucking battle. The fact that should have been the fucking main
was
event.
Hanging on for fucking.
Dude, she headbutted that girl so many times though, and they didn't deduct a point, and her fucking face was a mess because of it. But dude, what a battle! They'll have to do. I mean, I know that girl's technically won the first two now, questionably. They could absolutely do a third, and that was what was good, at least for these undercard boxers. That was what was nice, is that they were getting this exposure if people's Netflix wasn't shitting the bed, if they were actually able to watch it. But they were on this big card, and it's really great for the undercard people because that's fucking, you know, that helps them tremendously. Those two ladies will not have a problem. They may, you know, boxing's fucking weird, man. Hopefully with this promotion Jake Paul's starting, they can drop kind of like, one of the things that kind of ruined boxing was managers and promoters of certain fighters wouldn't want their fighter to fight somebody else, because in boxing, records mean a lot more. Like, if you're undefeated, they don't want you to drop that fucking You know what I mean? Like it's not like that in MMA. It's different, and I think that attracts people to it sometimes more though. But anyway, yeah, I like greed and people not wanting to fight. I always bring up Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather. They finally, when they did fight, it was a fucking dud. But that was one that went on for years. So hopefully this new wave can bring some, just revive it a little bit, because it is a sport that I've always loved to watch. But as far as Iron Mike, dude, I got to say, because Dave messages me as he's walking down. What'd you say, Mike? Like Iron Mike's cooked or he's done. I forget what the fuck you said. And I was like, dude.
Wait, this was as, hold on a second.
As he was walking down the fucking aisle, you said that he was cooked.
So my Netflix must have been like 3 rounds ahead of yours. Dude, I was ahead.
Oh, I thought you were saying he was cooked just looking at him walk down the ring.
Oh, no.
Dude, no wonder.
No. Dude, I must have been like 3 rounds ahead of you or some shit, because he looked good in like the first, second, and then you could see.
That was it.
You could see the old age was starting to settle in.
Yeah.
And the endurance and all that, it just wasn't there.
Well, sorry. You're right.
No, but I mean, I made a joke because I was like, you know, they should have put a bet out on like what would take longer, the national anthem or Jake Paul get into the ring.
Dude, no doubt. But he
was that a fucking Hangover spoof he did?
Yeah, it was. It was a Hangover spoof, because the Phil Collins "In the Air Tonight" was the song they used, and total Hangover
driving
spoof.
in the car there in the convertible, and
but yeah, dude, he definitely he you know, now looking back on it, like, I don't know exactly what people were really expecting. I'm glad he didn't. He could have KO'd him, man, if he wanted to. I don't know, because he could have just jumped on his ass, cooked him, and that's what I kind of thought. I didn't know if I thought it was going to go the distance anyway, but man, I didn't know if he was going to make it to the distance, but he did. And I think the worst thing, and this is why in the docs I put all these fucking fighters in this, because like Rosie Perez was commentating, you know, Roy Jones Jr. was there. They had all these fucking people, and I like, because Mike Tyson was so good at some time, and then like he comes back and he's fighting, it makes people that were around that era like, oh man, this is awesome. Like, I'm not old. And then and you feel like it's nostalgic because it puts you back when you were younger, and you just remember them being like, I mean, like for us, we're too young to really, when Tyson was fucking really remember, at their like, I feel like that Buster Douglas fight, when I said, I don't even know, I feel like it had to be, because I can't remember if it may have been Evander Holyfield, but I feel like that happened. I was a little bit older for that, not the ear biting fight, but their first fight, which was a really good one. But like, you know, people that would be like in their like 10 years older than us, 15 years older than us, that puts them like, but that's how it is. Like when you see these people come back, and it gets you that nostalgia feeling, and you think they can do it, but man, it just proves time and time again. And like I put, do you know who, do you remember Chuck Liddell? They used to be a UFC fighter. Do you remember? Yeah. So he retired. He lost his last like probably 3 or 4 fights in a row, and he retired. I can't remember how old he was. He was one that like, he was a badass in his day, but he didn't really take care of his body. He partied a lot, and you know, he didn't have like, he didn't do good as he got older, but he came out of retirement and fought this guy Tito Ortiz a few years back, and he looked good, like physically, kind of like how Tyson did, you know. And dude, like I don't even think he fucking got a punch off, because he moved so fucking slow. And Tito Ortiz just destroyed him. Like, they shouldn't even have fucking allowed that to happen, dude. It was the saddest thing to watch. Same way with, like, I put Ken Shamrock and Kimbo in there, because Ken Shamrock was old. I remember he was still jacked. He looked good. But when he, like, went for a double, like, it was so slow. And, like, you just get, like, I don't know what we expect, but we fall for it over and over and over again. And some guys fight well into their older age. I put Randy Couture in here. He took care of his body, and he stayed competitive into his 40s. Bernard Hopkins, B-Hop, was fighting for fucking titles at 50 in boxing. I feel like boxing, you could go I don't know if you could go till 50 in MMA, man. That feels like you need a lot more like explosiveness, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but I mean, I feel like there was I don't know. I don't even know where to go with that. But like Netflix and just the whole ass shot of Mike Tyson walking away from his interview. Like
that was his son too.
I know,
his fucking
dude.
son.
He was like, "Love you." Kissed his son. Walked away. Walked away with bare ass hanging out, dude. I mean, if there's any positive to come out of that Tyson-Paul fight,
dude, that meme's gonna be there forever.
Oh yeah, yeah, dude. It's just
I've seen more memes fucking created with that than I feel like it's the Hawk Tua fucking meme all over again.
Unreal. Netflix just showing Tyson's bare ass, and then they showed it again at the end. At the very end, they were showing like all the highlights and shit. And they added him walking away from his interview. I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
I mean,
it had to have been on purpose. It had to be.
Yeah. It was a highlight. It had. I mean, everybody that saw it, we were all like, "What the fuck?" People were like, where I was at, it was loud, and we were fucking being rowdy. So it was. I mean, it was. I think people were kind of half paying attention, but dude, they kept the camera on it long enough for everybody to see it live.
I know. I know. Insane.
Absolutely. But yeah, I mean, it is true. Father Time's undefeated. And that's like, I would always say that I would like to come out of retirement one more time. And I was telling them there that I wish I had a bigger internet presence because I would try to fight Jake Paul. But unfortunately, there's no incentive for him to fucking ever box me. But yeah, the more and more, like, when I see stuff and, like, man, in work, when I brought it up when I went back to Morgantown on a route in an area that I did, like, 10, 12 years ago, and it felt a lot harder than it did back then. It's like one of those reminders, and I'm not quite as old as Mike Tyson, but, you know, it's one of those things, like, maybe it's always a reminder. But I always, the pilot light is still lit for me, and I still feel like I'd have like a window every year or so, but the further it goes and the more of these fights where these people come back and we see what happens, I'm like, maybe not. But dude, I'm telling you, I wasn't bad, and I feel like now, because I still spar regularly, that it would, at least, if anything, it would draw some few. I told you when we did this pod, when I was talking about this before, when we before the hiatus of the podcast, I said I'd wear a fucking billboard of that thing. I'd make a spectacle of it just to fucking have it fucking promote that if need be. I think people would tune into that, but I don't know. I don't know if it'll ever happen. And the closer 40 gets, the less of a reality it seems. But I'm telling you, man, never say never. I just wanted to throw that in there.
Absolutely. Ugh. Yeah, man. I mean, overall, I thought it was the fight night, if you will. Like, I thought it was good. You know, those two posts, the two just before the Tyson-Paul fight were solid fights. The females were just unreal. They were fucking throwing them down. And then, you know, like you said, the Tyson-Paul fight, you know, Paul could have KO'd him 100%, could have. But, you know, decided not to. And, you know, got to respect that. So, but anyways, that was a good fight night.
Yeah, I mean, who would have thought we would have got to see Mike Tyson fight in fucking 2024?
It was so interesting, though. Like every time he'd get hit, he would bite his glove. I thought that's a real interesting, like.
Yeah, that was a weird. Yeah, I don't know. I don't ever remember him biting it like that, but man, he always did keep his hands up like that, and he would gnaw. I guess he did, but I don't know, man. But
it's interesting. It is a very interesting tick, and I think he said it too. Like in the interview, he was like, it's better I bite my glove than bite something else."
Oh, what a fucking spot to land that one in, dude. That's like what's crazy. Just to bring that up real quick, because it was like, I mean, we were too young to go there live to watch it, but I was old. That was like '97, so old enough to remember that shit.
Oh yeah, I still remember.
Dude, Vegas fucking rioted. I remember seeing that on TV, like people in the casino going fucking nuts. Like they had, like it was like security cameras and shit. Like you got to see, it was fucking absolutely mayhem. That's because that fight, dude, their first fight was one of the best fucking. Still, I remember as a kid, that was one of the best fights I've watched as a heavyweight. Evander Holyfield and Tyson won, and then it had such a build-up just for that to end like it did, and fucking place riot.
Yeah. But yeah, moving on here, I'll let you take the reins.
Yeah, I wanted to bring this up. I brought it up a little while ago, and I was telling Dave because it's still a few weeks away when you hear this, but we are coming up now on 5 years of the unfortunate tragedy that happened to Frank Ordonez, and I don't know exactly who started this but it was on December 5th. I don't know if the actual time when the incident occurred, if it was 5 p.m. or not. I don't remember that, but it's December 5th at 5 p.m. We always take a moment of silence for Frank, and people if you're able to stand outside of your truck, try to do that, because that's normally what we try to do. And if you can't, just, as long as you're inside, and take a moment. But it made me realize, there's we've lost a few more drivers to violence since Frank, but I always will say that any incident of a loss of life is bad, but the way how that all played out and how it went down will always, I feel like anybody that was especially working for UPS at that time, and you watched, because there's a lot of people now, a lot of newer workers, people that probably aren't even fully aware of who Frank is. So just to, he was a new driver in Miami. He had only been full time for a few weeks. I don't remember exactly how long. He had just went full time. He had two young girls, and he was in a literal wrong place, wrong time situation. And I want to come back to this because I want to bring this up with kind of incorporating UPS into this. A jewelry store was getting robbed, and the jewelry store owner was armed, and they had a little bit of a shootout there. He shot at them, they shot at I think they shot back. They ran out. They took Frank hostage in the UPS truck, and then that turned into a police chase, which became news, and that was national news, and that's how this actually got a lot of attention, and it ended in a shootout with the police and Frank and another innocent bystander that passed away, but Frank ultimately he didn't make it out of that. And I don't think the video's up anymore, but in the video, and you probably remember the original one too, you see him walking, or not walking, but you see him crawling down the bulkhead or the steps on the passenger side. And man, I think that's the thing that any driver saw, that they were just put themselves in that spot. And I've always said, in that moment, in that amount of time of when that chase happened till when those shots started being fired, I don't know what dude, what goes through your head in the horror that but that we've like, you know, they preach safety all the time, and there's so many times, like, just think, like, if he would have been looking for a stop for, like, a stop that got loaded shitty or something, and was looking for a stop prior to that for, like, an extra 5 minutes. Or just, like, there's so many little things that just, like, it literally could have been completely avoided, or it would have, I mean, they probably would have taken someone else, unfortunately, but it's just, like, it's so crazy how that...
Right, like, imagine if he caught that red light. Imagine if he got stopped at that red light.
Right, exactly.
And it's something as simple as that. And, yeah.
But I think, you know, his girls now, I mean, they're probably, I'd say they're teenagers at this point, but, you know, I'd spoke to his brother, or messaged his brother years ago, and they had a GoFundMe page for Frank, and I haven't spoke to, I think there were some lawsuits and some things that were settled, and I think all that is behind him now, because that was kind of there was a lot of, you know, how that was handled was very, I don't want to go too deep into that, but there was a lot of questioning on how that was handled on the police side, and that was, you know, just like, I don't know. There's just little things like we know as drivers, like we know those trucks are so trackable, and they're not that fast. So it's just like knowing that and knowing how that went down. Like, it's easy to look back on that now and say this now because it's all over. It wasn't in the moment, but it's like knowing that they could have stayed back a little bit. But those guys shot at the police first, and if you shoot at the cops, they're going to shoot back at you. I've always said that, and that was like, so, but they, you know, how they engaged it wasn't, I don't know, man. There's a lot of iffiness to it, but the bottom line is that doesn't, you know, bottom line is Frank was gone, and father to 2 girls. Was, you know, his life got taken way too early. But we wanted to bring, just being 5 years since it happened, just wanted to bring up a little bit, bring it up a little bit prior to bring some more people aware to it. But yeah, December 5th, 5 p.m. Eastern time is when we'll take a moment of silence for Frank Ordonez.
Absolutely.
Oh shit!
All right,
that was I didn't really necessarily mean to go into that whole thing like that in detail, but I feel like the people that don't know who he is, you know, I just feel like I always want him to, you know, it's just one that I never want to be forgotten. That's all. I don't think anybody, you know, we want to keep his memory alive.
Oh, absolutely, man, and well said. Well said there. All right. Question of the week. Shall we get going on that?
Yes, we shall.
All right. Let me pull it up here because I got it right here. The question of the week this week was...
God, there we go.
What's the best perks of your job? I thought this one would be fun and see what people had to say. So, let's see, shall we, what people had to say. This one comes, we got 15 comments. This one's from Shawnee P. Says food.
Yeah.
Of course it's food.
I mean, that's going to be, king. Yes, it is. Yes,
what
he
do you
is.
call himself? The barbecue crasher?
Barbecue crasher, but God, dude still has abs.
I know. Speaking of being in shape, this one here is from Give Me More Cosplay. Says, I love driving, so being paid to drive is awesome, but also all the cool customers and animals I get to meet. Absolutely. I think that's going to be a trend. I think the dogs and animals.
The animals fall for sure. Yeah.
Yep. This one here is from our one and only DHL driver, Rick Star. Rick says, I'm an introvert, so being by myself while listening to music and podcasts is perfect. And the overtime.
Fuck yeah.
This one here's from that dude Luke and me. Patreon subscriber Luke. What up, Luke? Luke says, knowing that my wife can stay home with the kids and that they are having a better childhood than my wife and I. But also the awesome tan I get in the summer, even if it is mostly on my left side.
Oh, no, that struggle.
The driving side.
But yeah, my left arm looks good, man. But yeah, the rest of me, yeah.
Love it. This next one is from Ruger54. Ruger says, not being stuck inside all day. Driving around the mountains and seeing wildlife all day. I've also received some pretty nice presents and tips from customers, so there's that too. Absolutely.
That's nice.
This one here is from Swollen Gorilla. Swollen Gorilla says, my customers are awesome. The free drinks, beer, and food. That's right.
Yeah.
Whenever they give you a beer, take that shit home.
Yeah, take that. That's a good trio right there.
Absolutely. This one here is from Porno Parcel. What up, RJ? RJ says, have you heard my stories? Best perk about my job is not getting fired for the shit that I pull.
Yeah, that's a hell of a perk because they just giggle at it. It's like he's got a spell on him or something.
I did. It's unreal. It's unreal. Some of the videos he posts with his supervisors. Next one here is from Girl Dad 8704 says, being the 3-time fantasy football champ in the work league.
Dude, that's a big one because that you can talk shit in that league because you see those people all the time. So it's fair. I've only been a runner up, and I'm almost in last place this year. So I envy you, Ernie. But that's a good one.
This one here is from B-Rad Mo, Mr. Brad Mosier. What up, Brad? Says, the booty shorts. Y'all know you don't order the long inseams. Don't be lying.
Dude, I wanted to make sure I said something on this one. Dude, I'm from the Fab Five Michigan basketball era, 90s basketball into early 2000s. They didn't wear the short shorts, man. I'm not into that.
This one here is from John Hilligus. Hilly on the go says, customer interaction, especially all the free shit from the customers for giving them the hookup with great service. Anything from bottles of wine and liquor to football and basketball tickets, food, and of course, cash money.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah,
fucking
buddy.
A.
That's such a good one.
Football and basketball tickets. That'd be nice. Yeah,
sick, dude. I'm still waiting for the day when I come across someone who's a
hockey,
Rangers season ticket holder. But this one here is from Old Ball Beard Bastard. What up, says, getting paid to work out. I laugh when people say I need to go to the gym. I just need to figure out how to ditch the beer gut without ditching the beer.
That's well said. That one out.
This one here is from Rocky Mountain Rots. Rocky Mountain says, for me, driving in the mountains and all the good pups. Absolutely.
Nice. Absolutely.
Miller Gang straight up says, all the free food. Absolutely.
Yeah, free food perk him's good.
That's right. PNW Upsman says, I would say all the titties I see. Oh, God damn it. I didn't even know what was coming. I just read it. I would say all the titties I see, but usually it's people you don't want to see naked. So I guess it's all the free wine.
All the free wine
get here in Oregon. Yep.
Oregon must be wild up there.
Oregon. Yeah. I don't know, man. That's it's like the nudist that I had on my old route out there in New Paltz. Thank God I don't got to see that guy anymore.
Yeah, there you go.
Thanks for taking my route. And this next one is from Happy Figgy. Happy Figgy, are you a first time here, bud? I don't remember ever reading this name. Happy Figgy says, getting to work with a lot of great people and having one of the best management teams out of all companies I've worked for in the past. Hold on a second. I also get paid to work 8 hours, but do so well at my job that I usually can leave 30 minutes early, and I have a hybrid 3-day work from home schedule. Is this guy an on-road supervisor?
Maybe.
Happy Figgy. What is this, bud?
Hey, Happy.
He ain't happy?
Maybe he is. I don't know.
Maybe Happy Figgy.
He can be happy on the management side.
I guess you can.
You
But
think
welcome, Happy Figgy, because this is the first time I've ever said your name. I know that. So welcome to the show, huh? All right, bud. I think that's gonna pretty much wrap it up.
I know. I'm fucking yawning. God, dude. We did this one. We got it in. We got it in, brother.
So, guys, listen. Thank you all for joining us. Like Happy Figgy, if you're new here, you could go follow the Instagram page at AITD Pod. You can follow Luke on Instagram as well at Real Nomad Delivery Guy. Also, subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to your podcasts. Subscribe, get notified every time there's a new episode. Also, of course, like I said at the beginning of the show, patreon.com/AIT Pod if you want to be a part of the Patreon family. Guys, I'm Dave, my co-host Luke. We'll see y'all next week.
Later, everybody.